Hi guys, it's your girl Grace Faniyi and welcome to my brand new show, Magnifying Movies, where we'll discuss movies and uncover their themes, characters and messages. We are broadcasting live from Tag Radio Essex. Make sure to follow us on our various platforms, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. For more updates, simply download the Tag Radio app on Google Play Store or the Apple Store. So today guys, we'll be talking about the Disney movie Big Hero 6. And this movie is loosely based on the Marvel Comics superhero team of the same name created by the Man of Action. And it's inspired by the bright colours and pop culture of Japanese comics and fashion. The original Big Hero 6 was set in Japan. However, the movie is set in Tokyo, which is a mix of Tokyo and San Francisco, which I really think is nice because it's a nice mix of cultures and it would really resonate with people who have a mix of ethnicities in their family. I really enjoyed this film and it's not too bad. Of course, there are a few things which could be improved on, but it's mostly good. And this film is about Hiro Hamada, a young robotics prodigy, and Baymax, his late brother's Tadashi's invention. And they combat form a superhero team to combat a masked villain responsible for Tadashi's death. I think this movie is really good. It has good messages and the actors are amazing. I really think that the actors fit the characters that they're voicing and the designs are beautiful. I love the superhero costumes that they have. It's just really beautiful. And I liked a lot of things about this movie, but one thing that I really enjoyed is the relationships in this movie, like the relationship between Hiro and Tadashi. It's a very healthy and relatable sibling relationship. They have their ups and downs. Sometimes they make mistakes, but they still care about each other in the end, and they want to make sure that both of them are safe. And I really think this movie, there's subtle hints in each scene and stuff like that. And I really enjoy Hiro's character arc, where he goes from like an immature boy and then he becomes more responsible and more social with his friends. I think there are very subtle hints about the villain in the story, even though I do think the villain could be improved. With Callahan, it's very interesting. We don't get very obvious clues that he could be the villain. Of course, we see his distaste for and dislike for Cray, but we're just questioning as audience, why does he do this? And there's a quote that he says about to Hiro when he does the showcase, where he says, you can continue to develop them or you can sell them to a man who's only guided by his own self-interest. And I think it's very ironic that he says that, because then we find out in the end he's also using his microbots for his own self-interest. Even though it's kind of funny as well, it's very ironic, and I think that's a subtle hint to us that he could be the villain, but it's not too obvious. And as a child, I was very surprised, but now that I'm watching it, it's not like it didn't surprise me, it just wasn't as interesting. What also would have been nice is to see his development from this nice professor to this villain. Like, it would have been nice to see it a bit more depth, because all we got to see was him as the nice professor, then we got to see him being covered by the microbots, and then we got to see him as a villain near the end and his anger towards Cray. But also, there's a scene where at 28:40 seconds where it links how Callahan or Tadashi could be alive when the microbot that Hiro is holding is moving. And that's like very interesting, because then it makes you question, oh, is Tadashi still alive? Is Callahan still alive? What also I think could be improved on is the friends. The friends are great and they have a good relationship with Hiro. But the thing about it is that we don't get to see a lot from them. We don't get to see how Tadashi's death really impacted them. Yeah, we saw them at the funeral, but we didn't get to see like maybe them being sad or cry. And I think it would have been nice to see a bit more of that so that we could see how they're really connected to Tadashi. Also, whilst doing my research, someone was saying how we don't really know why the friends are friends with Hiro. Not that they wouldn't be, but it would have been nice to see their relationship grow as well. Because we only find out they're friends of Tadashi, so then they automatically become friends with Hiro. But it would have been seeing nice small moments to see their relationship with Hiro and like why they want to be friends with Hiro and why they want to risk their lives for Hiro. Because it's a bit bland if you don't see that, of course. But what I really like is how, in the beginning, we showed their passions and desires in the science, and then when they become the superheroes, they incorporate that in their outfit. It's just those little things that really make the film a bit more wholesome. Something that I really disliked is Cray, the character. He's not the villain, but he's an antagonist. And it's very interesting. Like, I can understand why he did what he did, but I really, really dislike it and do not support it. He is told by one of his employees that there's a problem with the portal, and when the people who come to watch him ask, is there a problem, he says no, let's go ahead. And in the end, Callahan's daughter is lost in the portal, which is really upsetting because I understand why he wanted to go ahead with it. He doesn't want to lose the money that he's already spent on this experiment, and he doesn't want this experiment to be shut down before he accomplishes what he wants to accomplish. But I feel if it was me in that situation, I would have too much of a guilty conscience to really be like, go ahead, because someone else's life is part of that experiment and you don't really want to be feeling responsible for that. So I really just dislike that because it really shows how selfish he is and arrogant, and he doesn't really care about other people. And I think there's a few scenes that I really enjoyed, like I really enjoyed scenes 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 25 seconds, where Hiro is trying to open Baymax's port, but Baymax doesn't let him. And it really shows how Baymax cares for him, and he knows that trying to destroy Callahan isn't really going to help him. So he asks him all these questions. Is this going to make you feel better? Is this what Tadashi would have wanted? And Hiro's like, yes, no, I don't know. And it shows the conflict that he's going through, but it's very interesting, and I really enjoy that. And then I also like when Baymax from the screen of his tummy shows Tadashi's fails and successes, and shows how in order to achieve something, we need to keep striving and going towards it. It's not like you try once and you fail and you stop doing it. You have to keep going and keep going until you succeed. I also love later on how the friends come back and show him support, which is something that's very interesting and shows us the difference between Hiro and Callahan. They've both lost people that they've loved dearly, but they both react in different ways. Of course, they've both been angry, and we see that, and want revenge. However, with Hiro, we see how he grows from his brother's death. We see him have a support system, and that helps him want to help other people. And that's a good message. However, with Callahan, he's so consumed by revenge and anger that all he wants to do is to destroy other people, and that leads to his downfall. He becomes a villain, and then he's taken to jail. So when his daughter comes out of the portal, he doesn't get to freely see her. He has to be in jail for a bit. And I also love moments 124, 37. It reminds us of Tadashi when Hiro quotes him. He says, not everything goes to plan. And I think that is a very important lesson that all of us have to understand. We can't control everything. Of course, there are things we can, but we can't control everything. And there's also a moment where he says to Callahan, if you do this, it won't change anything. And I think that's great. It's, again, another reminder of how even if something has happened, there's just some solutions that aren't going to work. And we need to really consider that when it comes to losing someone. But I think it also really shows how much the grief can over-consume you and not make you think straight, which is very unfortunate and very sad. And then also, what I enjoy is near the end of the film, where we get to like 1 minute 30, 1 minute 30, we get to hear like a cheery and happy music. And we finally get to see Hiro go to school. So we get to see his development from feeling sad, not going to school, to being happy and finally going to school with his friends. And then he has that last hug with his Aunt Cass, which I think is very beautiful, because it's like we get to see how he's trying to really cherish the relationships he has now. The relationships that he's lost are his parents, Tadashi, and even Baymax. But he's really gonna cherish the relationships that he has now. And what I really love about the film is that it leaves us with a good conclusion. In the end, we get to see Baymax back here, and we get to see like another like piece of Tadashi, and it's very nice. Also, I love it when Baymax says Tadashi is here. Even though he's physically not there, he's there in spirit, soul, and mind. He's lives on in the people that loved him. He's living in Hero, Aunt Cass, Baymax, and his friends. And I think that's very beautiful. When someone you love dies, of course, it's heartbreaking. But we have to remember, people say they're here, and even though they're physically not here, they're still going to be in your heart, in your memories. And if you carry on with their wishes and desires, they live on as well. Like at the end, it's saying how Tadashi, all he wanted to do was help people, and Hiro and his friends are superheroes, so they get to live out what Tadashi wanted to do, and they get to live that out. I like to think that Baymax is basically a reflection of Tadashi, because Tadashi made him, and he has Tadashi's like flashbacks and memories of how he made him, but they have very similarities. Even though it's not him in flesh and spirit, I feel like it's him in the soul and emotionally as well. And I think that's very beautiful. There's one moment that is really heartbreaking, and even though I didn't cry, it's just so sad. 1 minute and 27, 1 hour, so 27 minutes and 35 seconds. And it's where they're in the portal and they have to get out. So Hiro is like, he has to leave Baymax, but he doesn't want to, which I think is really sad, because Hero's already lost his parents and his brother, so losing one more person that he loves is very upsetting and very heartbreaking. But I think it just shows you how sometimes heartbreaking moments also, it's so nice how they portray it. They have the choked voice, the actor had the choked voice. And also physically, as Hiro is leaving the portal and Baymax is falling down, you get to see the physical distance. It makes him more and more heartbreaking. And I just really love how they constructed that scene. And also the music, just sadness and everything. Honestly, I just really love the movie because it showed us a great character arc. But it also leaves us with some great messages, like how we need to keep loving people. Even if bad things happen in our lives, we need to keep loving and just show love. And also how we need to have a good support system, and how we need family and friends around us. And also how sometimes we have a problem and we're trying to find a solution and it's really difficult, but we have to keep looking. As they keep saying in the film, they said it a few times, maybe like 3 or 4, they said, look for a different angle. I really like that quote, because it's like, when things get hard and you're in a hard position and you're trying to get out, it's good that you have to get out of the position, get out by a different way, a different method. And honestly, that's all I have to really say about the film. I'd really recommend watching the film. It's that kind of film that the whole family can watch, not just kids, not just adults. It's a film that I would recommend anyone to watch. It has a great message and it's very enjoyable, and it's just so wholesome that honestly, if someone's like, oh, should we watch this movie, I would be down. I would enjoy it every time. I would probably not get bored of it. So thank you for yes, I would probably rate this movie about probably an 8, because it's very good. Alright guys, this is where we say goodbye until next time on Magnifying Movies. Thanks for your time, and don't forget to follow us on our various platforms and download the Tag Radio app. Thank you guys, bye.